The latest in the Letterman blackmail case. A New York court is expected to rule this morning on whether to dismiss it entirely. Can that be the case? Our good friend Chris Cuomo is here. Been following this from the very beginning. Good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you, Robin. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? Doubtful. And the reason for that there are very specific reasons that a case gets dismissed before we get to hear any evidence. They're going to ask the judge this morning to make this one of those cases. But the question is, will it?
The other late-night scandal is back in the headlines.
I have had sex with women who work for me on this show.
But it's Joe Halderman, the suspended CBS News producer, who's in hot water for allegedly trying to extort $2 million from Letterman in exchange for keeping quiet about his affairs. But Halderman's attorney is asking the judge to dismiss the case.
He had a First Amendment right to create that property, to develop that property, to write a book, a screenplay, to sell that property.
This was not a legitimate business transaction.
Letterman's not on trial, but his attorney says Halderman's excuse is nonsense.
Who negotiates a business transaction at 6 in the morning in the shadows of somebody's apartment building? Who threatens their personal and professional lives?
Still, Halderman's court documents argue a hard-driven arm's-length commercial transaction doesn't constitute extortion. Halderman also pleads ignorance because he didn't know his behavior was illegal. Other points are that the searches of Halderman's home and office were improper. The grand jury wasn't told why Halderman's request for money was wrongful and not a legitimate business proposition, and even calls the New York extortion statute unconstitutional. But experts say even if he threw in a pretty please, there would be a slim chance of dismissal.
In my experience, it's extremely rare for a judge to dismiss a criminal case before it goes to trial, because at this stage all the facts aren't known. We haven't had a full trial. All the witnesses haven't testified.
Chris, is there any kind of scenario where this would be dismissed?
It happens. Usually it's because the charge is wrong. They charged you with armed robbery, but they didn't find a gun. It's not usual that without the facts happening, this happens, especially in this case because the defense is saying he thought this was just a business deal. That assumes that David Letterman would have been interested in buying this and developing it as a media project. Very doubtful. So I think we're going to see this case go on.
All right. Thanks for staying on top of this. And congratulations on the JETS.
Thank you very much. Thank you.